What's up, YouTube? This is me, Asian Dave, aka Fanatical for Jesus, aka Dawei, aka David Chu. This is gonna be part 4 of my video series about my experience in Southern Peaks Regional Treatment Center, aka Abraxas now. Alright, so I left off talking about how I was in 7 hours worth of restraints one day because they're supposed to hold you down for 59 minutes and then let you back up. But every time they would let me back up, I'd swing on one of the staff members, and then they'd restrain me again. They'd take me right back down. But then for one time, then towards the end, the facility director and the program director came down, and they restrained me. And the way they did it hurt so badly that I started crying because I felt like they're trying to pop my arm out of socket, and that shit hurt so badly. Anyways, so other than that, I remember I was trying to do like I said, I was trying to do the Christian thing, and I was um trying to do everything that the Bible says. I was trying so hard to just turn the other cheek. I took that literally when Jesus said turn the other cheek. That literally I let people pick on me because I wouldn't fight back because I thought, well, Jesus wants me to turn the other cheek, so I'm not gonna fight back. So people started picking on me and taking advantage of that, and I would just literally turn the other cheek and let them pick on me. And then um so I got picked on a lot because of that, and but then I like bottled up my anger because I didn't wanna let it out because I was supposed to turn the other cheek, so I just bottled it, and just stuffed it really deep inside, just really deep inside, and like eventually, as what always happens when you try and bottle up your emotions, it always comes out. And eventually, when it comes out, you blow up. And I've blown up a few times on the staff members where I'll start telling them off. Or I blew up on one of the kids on my unit and I would hurt them pretty badly because I got so mad. But then I'd feel like immense guilt and then I'd want to make things right. But even then, I remember I had a really, really weak conscience. And every little thing I remember, I was working in the kitchen. I was working in the kitchen, serving the meals and everything. I remember every little thing that I did. I would have to rush to the bathroom every 2 minutes and ask God to forgive me for whatever. Like I'd ask Him pretty much, forgive me for lying by omission, for not saying this, forgive me for this, forgive me for that. I literally rushed to the bathroom like every 2 to 3 minutes when I was supposed to be working in the kitchen, just so I could pray and ask God to forgive me for whatever I did. And I had such a weak conscience. And then I also remember I was very prone to worrying about what people thought of me. So I remember I would ask the staff members and even the other kids on my unit if they thought I was smart. Like I would continuously keep doing that. I would ask them, do you think I'm smart or stupid? And um and I'd ask them to be honest with me and not spare my feelings. And I would do that I was probably doing that every single day because I was just so worried about what people thought of me. And it just bothered me. Like my own self-esteem was dependent upon what other people thought of me, and it bothered me if someone thought that I was stupid or uncool or whatever else there was. And I remember I used to talk to Dr. Robert Bell a lot about this kind of stuff, and he wasn't really much of a help. Like he really wasn't. I remember, and then I also remember at one time, he let me borrow like this book about world religions, and I started studying world religions around this time. I stopped being a Christian. I actually became very anti-Christian. Like well, not really anti-Christian. I became very anti-God, and I became very hateful towards Christians around this time. And the reason why I started studying different religions was because I was going to try, in my mind, I was going to try and prove that all religions are pretty much the same, and that all religions are pretty much worshiping the same God. I was going to prove that. I mean, I may have, looking back on it, I was probably in a manic episode at the time, because that was part of my grandiose delusions. I was going to be the one to prove that all religions were the same and that they were all worshiping the same God. And why I cared so much about that is beyond me, because at this time I was very anti-God. So honestly, I shouldn't have really cared too much, because I hated God. And I wanted to lash out at him and take it out on his believers. And I remember around this time, I would go to the weekly Bible study still, but no more to learn about the Bible. It was just so I could challenge the Bible study teachers, and by asking them questions that I knew they couldn't answer. And I got like a sick satisfaction out of stumping the Bible study teachers. And I remember, actually, before I became very anti-Christian, I remember Miss Lynette set me up with a mentor who was a female mentor, because she knew that I trusted females more. And I had a female mentor. This was back when I was trying to do the Christian thing. And I had a female mentor. I got really attached to her, and I looked forward to our meetings. It was like once a week, and she let me borrow some books to read about Christianity and everything. And then her name was Pam. She was an African American woman named Pam. She was really pretty too. But I remember talking to her, and then eventually one day Miss Lynette stopped our meetings, and I got really upset about that. And she says she thinks it's the right thing to do is for me to have a male mentor so I can get used to talking to men. And that sent me also downhill in a downward spiral, and I started going to these mentor meetings. But I was like the same thing with the Bible studies. I was trying to stop my mentor. I'll ask him questions that I knew he couldn't answer, and I would get a sick satisfaction out of knowing that I just stumped the mentor. And the mentor and the Bible study teachers were Mennonites. By the way, I don't know if you guys know anything about the Mennonite tradition, but that's what they were. They were Mennonites. And I became very violent and aggressive, and and anytime someone tried saying something to me, I'd blow up on them and get nasty. And I was a very angry and bitter kid around this time. And and I was still going up and down with my moods. My moods were all over the place. Literally, it was. And they had to try me on different medications. They tried me on Depakote, which literally just made me like a walking zombie. I was just like, oh. I remember I was trying to talk to my sisters on the phone, and I would literally be talking like, oh, yeah, I'm good. Uh-huh. Alright. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's literally how I was talking. My sister, our conversations were really short, but then they tried me on other medication, I was doing most of the talking. I just couldn't stop talking. I had like flood of thoughts in my mind. I was talking a mile a minute. And so eventually, I don't think they ever did find the right medication for me at that time when I was in the treatment center. They kept on switching me different medications, and yeah, and it just none of them worked. But yeah, just anyway, so I gotta end the video here. I'll make part 5 later. I'm gonna stop right here, so I'll make part 5 later. Alright, have a good day. God bless you. And stay awesome, Gotham. And again, happy Resurrection Day. Deuces.